Just check your email.
Hey, well, why we got a little quick break, man? I see you just sent me a couple of sponsorships that we're working on right now. Let me go ahead and shout those out right now. Welcome all to I'm from the Zoo podcast. I'm your host with the most, sliding and driving, Mike, Michigan. You dig what I'm saying? I've got my man B-Dub 10. What's up? What's up there, B-Dub 10?
What's up with you, man? What's up going on, Mike Mish? What's up there,
Man,
everybody out there?
always, man. You know how we do, bro. You know what I mean? We got the blockchain management, the spot, Icon Sports Imaging, man. Tell everybody about that right there, real quick, Dub.
What we do at Icon Sports, when we capture the iconic moment and we turn it into a trading card.
What
So
made you come up with that idea, fam?
it
Bring
came
it.
to me in the middle of the night, living in Phoenix, Arizona, and I wanted to be able to give the consumer more than just a regular picture to put on a card.
Mhm.
I wanted to give them something that they can actually see somebody doing something. So now I got them where you got the Floyd Mayweather, where you can see the actual punch, you can see the actual swing, 3,000, Derek Jeter, 3,000 hit.
Yeah.
I got those on there, putting it together. One of a kind, nobody doing that.
Iconic moments, man. And that came to you, said it came to you in a dream, man. So it was God sent.
Already, it was God saying I wanted to be able to give back to the consumer more than just a card with a signature on that's got stats on it. So
Man,
now
that's
I
awesome.
got a hologram in the card where you can see the actual swing. So we capture anything with the iconic moment with the video, and we can transfer it to a trading card.
Oh my goodness, man. That's what's up, man. That is wonderful. Speaking of God sent, that is a God sent idea. And I just want to thank God, for having you, fam, my brother, been for so many years, and we still here, looking good, smelling good, doing our good things, good deeds for the community. And my queen Kiki in the background, can't see her, but she's taking care of so much. Look at these wonderful graphics we got going on. This is amazing, man. I mean, look at this. I'm sitting on top of the world in here. You know what I mean? We live and direct. Shouts out to everybody who checked in last time for the show, and shouts out to TJ Duckett. That was an extremely great show. And
Dump
with
truck.
Key Love, man, we got to run them back, don't we, Dub?
Yeah. Got stuff going on with TJ Dump Truck Duckett.
Yeah, man, that was awesome, man. We got to.
His album was nice, by the way.
The music was definitely dope, man. And they have followed up, by the way. If you watch the last show, we got that segment when we got people are bringing people on the show and they maybe not met for the first time, but they met right here on I'm from the Zoo, baby. You dig it? Just like that, fly in the building. But anyway, I also want to say shouts out to Mike Mitch for Film Productions. You know me, you got to shout yourself out like Snoop said. I want to thank me. So, hey, I want to thank me too. You dig it? You know what I mean? We keeping it fly today, B-Dub. Hey, did you get in touch with anybody from home, man? Because we were supposed to bring our special guests to like
You know,
zap in.
I tapped in. I'm gonna get Dirty Red. Dirty Red to call. See if we can get
Yeah,
somebody to call in on the zap line on the zap in. Okay.
that's what I'm talking about. Hey, this is an exclusive. Like I'm from the Zoo Cup. You dig it? What I'm saying? That's what. Well, look at here. We have a special guest. Do we have a special guest zapping in already? Is that coming?
That
Look,
coming, look,
we are
we
ready.
are
We are
ready.
so ready.
I'm just being ready. Just being ready.
Oh, okay,
Oh,
okay.
okay.
Well, I know we keeping it fly, but also we also want to give a special shouts out to our advertising Kellogg's. Welcome. We thank you. And what we trying to do, what we want to do with the Kellogg's program is we want to set up these different breakfast tables for the different communities that we live in within Texas, within New Jersey, within California, and then definitely in Kalamazoo, Michigan, where we want to be able to have breakfast for families that of all ages, no matter what, be able to have a center where the kids can go and they can have some breakfast. And for the Mike Mitch Sports Ministry, we would definitely like to support that with that. So we want to thank you, Kellogg's, in advance right now for what you're doing for us. So thank you. Also, if you also want to shout out and check out the show and do any more sponsorships and donations, we'll gladly approve it. All the donations will be put back into the show to improve content because better equipment, better backgrounds, to do more things. So that's what we're looking for. You can, of course, hit us right here on this email, right here. I'm saying, slide that in there. Yeah, you know what we do. So back to you, Dubs. How you feeling today, fam?
A good night's rest.
Let me call my man Keir and see what's going on with him. Oh, speaking of Keir, we have an extreme wonderful guest coming up today. And I think I'm gonna get him on the line. Let me see if I can get him on to come on in with us real quick here. Hey, fam, you want to come on in? Okay. Email address. I'll send it to you right now. Okay, send me your email address and I'll send it to you right now. Get it to you right now, partner. Yeah. How you doing today, man? Oh man, I'm feeling good, bro. We just sitting here on there. We ready for you, bro. No subject. Hello. Okay, cool. Okay, bet. I'll send it to you right now. Okay, bet.
Yeah, Mike Mitch, I'm having a hard time getting that picture on here right now.
That's okay. Take care. It's on the way. Okay, bro?
All right.
All right, I'm hanging up with you. Okay. Okay. You trying to get it in there, fam?
Yo, he didn't get the link, Mike Mitch?
Yeah, for some reason, I'm sending it to him right now.
Okay.
So no worries. Just a little delay. On mine, I guess.
What's that?
What happened?
Where?
This is behind the scenes when you know what I'm saying? It's the real deal. Here it goes. You heard it. There we go. Right on. And while we also sitting right here, man, you know what I'm saying? It's an unknown thing, you know what I'm saying? I always like to support all different type of people, no matter what. So I also want to give a shout out to my man, Eric Grayson with Flight, San Francisco Flight. Want to be soon to be guest. I think it will be on the show. What you think about that, Dub? Good sponsor?
Oh, definitely good sponsor. And guess what? He's from the zoo.
He's from the zoo. And speaking also who's from the zoo, I want to be supportive and give a shout out to my man Schizo. He wrote a book called Water from Cactus. It's actually pretty good, man. I actually enjoy it. It's a good read. And the reason why I want to give a shout out to him, man, is because, I mean, look, you're from the zoo, man. I know where you're from. You get to that level in your career where you have a book. I'm very proud of you, man. Shouts out to you, man, and can continue success with all your career. You know what I mean? If you're from the zoo, and if somebody sees this and tells Schizo, tell him he can get on the show. As all of our music artists from the zoo, you're more than welcome. We got open arms for you to come and check in with us. You already seen the email. You can come. You can check us on the Facebook link. You can get at me and Dub. You know how we do. Let me make sure that I got that.
Keir has arrived.
Okay. Look, we have the zap in right now. There we go. We start. There
Mish.
we go. Hey, what's happening, bro?
How are you? How are you?
Welcome, ladies and gentlemen of
All the
all
crazy-
ages around the globe. We got the man, we got the mission, we got the leader, we got the groover, the mover, the shaker, the baker, the one, the only, my man, Mr. Keir Worthy. How you doing, sir?
I don't know how to do that.
Yes, indeed. Yes, indeed, Keir, man. It's a pleasure to have you. Hey, I'm here. It's Mike, Michigan. Once again, you know me forever.
Great to be
Right
here.
here's my man, B-Dub. B-Dub, that's Keir.
Nice
Brother
to
Dub, how are you,
meet
sir?
you, man. It's a pleasure to meet you.
Honored to be here.
Well, look, man.
I'm pleased you guys invited me.
Well, Keir, man, we thank you for your time, and we're going ahead and start that clock, that shot clock quarter, if we could, there, Queen. Once again, we are on
All right, all
from
right.
the zoo, and
All right.
we are here with Mr. Keir Worthy, and we got a
Nice
couple
to
of
meet
questions.
you, Kier. Hey, Mike Mitch, real quick. We're going to get the intro started, okay? And then come in.
Okay.
All right, here we go. Here we go. Have a good show.
Where the boss at, Mike?
Uh,
Yes, sir. You know what time it is. Yes, sir.
up the sun down. We crack a Latin. So happy today to be here, man. I got my fam here. Let me read this to you because I got professional for a minute. Let me see here. We have a professional. Professionalism is at its most highest, gifted with the knowledge and style, and gives it with the comfortability to make people want to understand more. Even though this person knows way more than most of us, he's the coolest, the smoothest, the nicest, the pioneer. Mr. Keir Worthy is in the building. Keir, what's happening, fam? Welcome to I'm from the Zoo.
Brother Mike, what's going on, man? Glad to be here. Thank you for the invitation and the introduction.
A man with no introduction, man. You know what? I'm gonna put you on the spot because there's so much that we want to cover right now, man.
Okay.
Keir, we go back, and I'm happy, man. Brother, I am thankful for the year. I'm gonna put you on the spot. I'm just gonna show you, ladies and gentlemen, where we're going. We're gonna do this again. I'm gonna show you one thing. Do you see this record? Can you see this? Can you see this, Keir? Can you see that?
Okay.
What is that?
Houdini. Good old Houdini.
Tell me a story about this person right here. Just one.
My story with Houdini, I didn't get to work with them extensively. Good friends with their manager and tour manager, Roy Cormier. Worked with Roy over the years.
Yeah.
My first interaction with them actually was when we first started our company, Hot Wax Promotions, back in Austin, Texas, many years ago. After we had the good fortune of meeting Andre Harrell and Run DMC in Austin, we went down the next day to Houston. Right, right. We went down the next day to Houston for the that leg of the Fresh Fest tour, first Fresh Fest tour, and we're hanging out in the room after the show with Andre and Run, and who's in there but your boy Grandmaster D and Jalil from Houdini. Now I tell you, now here's what people probably don't know. The term their role manager at the time was Sugar Dice. I don't know if you knew Sugar Dice, legendary.
Right.
Sugar Dice, to my knowledge, coined the term skeezer.
What? Come on.
That's the first time I heard it, hanging out with them after the Fresh Fest tour.
Okay.
Skeezer is the term.
Thank you,
Houdini.
Now you see that? Thank you. Clap it up right there for that. Clap it up for that. You know what I'm saying? Now you see how we just randomly just pulled a record and pulled that. I got that for you, man. And you know the story. Here we're gonna go back, man. You are legendary. For everybody that know that, how you could just jump in and know all those people, all those things in detail. That is who we have on our show. The best content in the world. Because here you are a legend, fam. And guess what? He from Detroit, Michigan.
The D.
Older.
The
He
D.
from the D. Let's go.
Right down the road from the zoo.
Yes, indeed.
Already.
We're going to take it all the way back, man, because we know that your beginnings, man, started. If I did my research on you, Keir, what is showbiz?
Forgive me not having on some buffs.
Okay,
You know,
no,
I know.
yeah. Go Buffs, go Dion. Hey, man, if you go, I'm going. You feel me? If you go, I'm gonna go. Take me with you. I'll meet you in Colorado, bro. Hey, I'm serious too. Hey, fam, look, I'm gonna keep it real to you, bro.
Okay.
Look, man, what I'm gonna say one thing, okay? I got my research. I even wrote down notes, brother, for real.
Wow.
What? Yeah, that deep, because you are showbiz pizza. What does that mean to you?
Oh, you really went there, didn't you?
Yes, sir.
Showbiz Pizza was, I guess, a bit of a launch when I was in Houston. My second go round in Houston. I had gone back preparing to go to UT the following semester.
Okay.
I started DJing and doing promotions at Showbiz Pizza. You know, Showbiz was actually at the time the competition to Chuck E. Cheese, who eventually bought them.
Right.
So that started me kind of. I was doing music promotions already for a label called Megatone, but I started doing promotions at that place where I was doing these teen parties on Friday and Saturday night. So all the local teens from the various high schools in the area, which were like Sharpstown and Ailey. It was another major school around the area. So all those Westbury.
Was
Westbury is
this in Detroit or in Texas?
No, this is in Houston. This is in Houston, Texas.
In Houston, okay.
Yeah, in Houston, Texas. So I was doing promotions for them. First big one I did a Purple Rain party to start things off.
Purple Rain.
So I end up getting a bunch of swag from Warner Brothers for the party, which I wish had to this day. They gave me like this big Prince stand, all kind of stuff, right? Which I don't have anymore, which is probably worth who knows how much now.
Oh my God.
But anyway,
I
did Showbiz Pizza Place.
Yes.
And that ironically enough, that led me to some contacts I've had my whole life. One was David Linton, who was who was the regional for Warner Brothers at the time, who I ended up working with when I got to Warner Brothers years later, and still cool with today. David's a phenomenal cat. And my little sister, Stephanie Gale. Yes. Stephanie claimed me as her big brother at the party.
Okay,
Stephanie. You know, she was in high school at the time and wanted to have, wanted to have some extra clout.
We'll tell everybody who Stephanie is.
So Stephanie today is the executive producer of the Love and Hip Hop franchise.
You see, now see, that's what I'm saying. Ladies and gentlemen, if you do not know or have not recognized, I'm from the zoo, baby. You know what I'm saying? B-Dub, I know you got some questions already for Mr. Worthy. Thank you, Keir, for that. We're going to come back and touch on it more. Dubs, the short is yours, brother. Ask Mr. Worthy what you like.
Mr. Worthy, by you being from the Motor City.
Yes, sir.
I just wanted to find out from you, how did you come across the music? Was you born into it, or did you study it, or did somebody introduce you to it, like a family, like an uncle or father? What made you?
I would have to say it was all three, actually. Growing up in Detroit, you're surrounded by music. I came up in the midst of Motown and everything else. Actually, Motown they hadn't left yet when the time I was born. My mother actually worked down the street from the Motown offices on West Grand Boulevard. Yeah. She was in the building. It was about 2 doors, maybe 3 doors down from Motown. So I went over there. I can't say frequently, but I had been there before while they were still in operation before they moved out west. So that was one part. My mother, I owe her a lot because she's not only a huge music lover, she was varied in her musical tastes. So from her, I heard everything from calypso to opera, and she still listens to.
Hey, Keir, check. We're gonna get the audio. We gotta come back with the audio.
I'm back. Okay, here we go. She still to this day listens to her classical and opera every Saturday afternoon.
That's beautiful.
So from that, I got a lot of music. My grandparents were big music lovers, and then I had 3 aunts who were like sisters. They were each 4 years apart. So I got like different segments of music. I got the young stuff. I got like the Jackson 5 and stuff over here. Then I got like Gino Vanelli. Then I got like Ohio players, just all those things together. I did study some music. I took cello and bass, not for a long time, but I had a secret dream to be a jazz bassist, like Ron Carter, who's from the D, went to Cass. Never did that. I took some piano also. So I was always in love with music. It was just a thing for me. It was, I was a mental soundtrack for me. I was a kid that sat around reading liner notes and album covers, and that kind of led me to what I ended up doing promotion wise because I was also into art. So I had an idea of being an artist, being an illustrator, and having a boutique firm, kind of boutique agency that focused on doing creative work for music, television, and film, right? So in doing that, I started a promotions marketing company in college with the idea of that leading me to having clients when I got finished with school for my advertising agency, my boutique creative agency.
Legendary mind.
So yeah, I was always around music. I started DJing in high school in Detroit. Met a bunch of cats there that I know to this day. Ended up being around the guys who created techno. So I used to hang out with Derek May in high school. Ended up meeting Juan Atkins. I grew up with Jeff Mills, who's now a acclaimed international DJ and producer. People knew him as the Wizard in Detroit.
Yes.
On WDRQ.
Come on, clap it up for the Wizard. Clap it up for that right there. What school did you go to right there, Keir?
When I was in D, I was at Cass. I was at Cass Tech.
Cass Tech High School, man. Go ahead. I'm not gonna cut it off. Then
you met them in high school about those kids to this day, huh?
Because you skimming over that, but people just don't know. That was a wonderful question, Brother Dub. Because you skimming over that, man. But you need to go in deeper with your relationship with house and techno music, please, sir.
Okay. Like I said, end up meeting, and this is long before anybody made a record. So I hung out with Derek. We were all kind of into music and DJing. Derek was going back and forth to Chicago a lot because one of his parents lived in Chicago.
Yeah.
And we hung out downtown a lot at the store called Chow and Dejanella, which was like a little cutting edge joint. And we used to go party at this spot called the Downstairs Pub.
Mm.
And that's where we heard like all the music. You heard all the New York stuff. We heard the stuff over from Europe, like the Italo disco stuff. We heard Yaz, Situation, just a ton of cats, man. And that got me into the kind of the house dance scene. When I ended up moving to Texas and started doing promotions, I ended up doing work for the house companies out of Chicago, right, like Barney's and Dance Mania, what was the other? DJ International, and so forth.
Now, what years were these right here? This is 80s?
80s. I started Hot Wax Promotions with my business partner and best friend, Ward White, in 84. No, I'm sorry, summer of 85.
Right.
Which was the summer of my freshman year at UT.
Now, what made you go to Texas from Detroit, from Cass Tech?
Money. Money, single family home, wasn't a lot of capital. And I got 2 scholarships.
Okay.
And I really was thinking about trying to go to an art school like Art Center in LA or Parsons or Pratt, and they're expensive. One.
Right.
And I went to a thing called the Honors Colloquium.
Okay.
Where they brought you in, they kind of, smooth you on the campus, sell you on going there.
Right.
And I got there and I was kind of taken with the campus, and I found out they have a really good advertising program, which is what I wanted to go into. Mm-hmm. So I'm like, why not?
And then you brought
I took my little 2 scholarships and rolled through.
Yeah, and
I guess it was life changing. It was life changing. It got me on my trajectory.
I was wondering, man, because and then you was already super hustling in Detroit, going back and forth with the techno scene, and you brought all of that you had already had in your mind that I'm gonna go to college so I can be ready after college. So when you brought all that mindset and you had all these connections and wonderful things, you brought it to Texas. Tell us the next thing that you created when you was in Texas.
Well, let me get the timeline right on that. Techno really took off after I left Detroit.
Okay.
I left Detroit, did a year in Texas. I actually did my last year of high school in Texas, came back to Detroit, hooked up with Jeff Mills at the time, and right during that period, right when I got ready to go back to Texas, he got the job at WDRQ and started there being the Wizard when I went back to Texas. And I started doing the thing at Showbiz and promotions and so forth, right? Mm-hmm. So it's amazing. It was so quiet here a moment ago. So those things kind of took off when I got back to Texas.
Yeah.
And I was doing promotions for a label called Megatone.
Okay.
That was the first real promotion job I ever had. Megatron Records was most famously known for having Sylvester, the Weather Girls, and Billy Preston.
Oh wow.
Dance that was more the dance music, but it definitely wasn't hip hop. It definitely wasn't the rap thing, and that's what I was trying to go for. See, quick side note: while I was home during that period after I finished high school and working with Jeff, we were trying to put together what would have been an early version of the Fresh Fest tour. I thought we called it Dance or something. The idea was we were gonna have some rappers. He and I were gonna DJ. We're gonna have some break dancers and do a little regional tour: Michigan, Ohio, Illinois.
Okay.
So in working on that, one day we were downtown at the Goodwill, where I always go record. We used to go record hunting down there, right? Old records. So picked up a bunch of records, and one of the records I picked up was on Megatone. Now, mind you, I knew at the time they had nothing to do with rap music, and this is the early days. It's like first Run DMC. It wasn't the first Run DMC album, first Run DMC single.
Right.
Something kept saying intuitively. Something kept saying, contact this company. Yeah, right. So I contacted Megatone.
Say one of the names, I got something for you. I'm ready.
So I contacted Megatone and spoke to this woman named Demetra Mavis, young white chick at the time who was really super energetic.
Right.
She was like, here, I like your energy. We need some local promotion. I said, well, I'm down to do that, but I'm getting ready to go back to Texas. She goes, well, that's great. That's even better because we have a really big following in Texas. I'll tell you why later, but so I'm like, fine, I'm down to do that. So I got down there. First record I ever did radio promotion for was a song called Can't Keep Holding On by a brother named Kenny James. That was the first R&B release they did at Megatone, trying to jump into that arena. And I got it to number 32 on the major station in the city, which was a super accomplishment. And I ended up meeting like all the DJs. I met the record pool guys. I met the DJs at the clubs, the whole nine, trying to promote this record. Another secret weapon I had when I went down, I don't know if you remember this song called The Soul, Anya Fish by Hashim.
Okay.
Everybody knew it by the beginning. It's time to do.
Yeah.
So I had that record.
Don't play around. I might have to dig in the crate over here.
And nobody had that record in like all of Texas, right?
Right.
And when you heard that song, people went berserk.
Right.
So when all the DJs found out I had that song, they all invited, man, come by the club tonight. Bring that record with you.
Hey, the Wiz. Now, just for those that don't know, the Wizard in Kalamazoo connection, I'm from the zoo, would be our brother, and I say it again, Mr. Tony Funkmaster Jackson had invited the Wizard to come to Kalamazoo, and he came, and they did it.
I was there.
I was too. Derek Jeter was there. Everybody was there. It was legendary. Oh, really? It was legendary, fam.
Just did his thing.
Oh, both of them did. They was battling. They was both of them competitive. They was going there.
That's when Funkmaster got up in there and started scratching with his feet.
Oh my God! When you brought that record, it's time. I can almost do the mix. It's time.
Right. Everybody.
It's time.
Hey, remind you, if you were lucky enough to have two copies. Remember, it was on an independent label. They didn't have a huge amount of press. Getting one was a big thing.
Right.
Like they did like a second round of pressing after it got really popular.
That is you broke It's Time, fam. Come on. Let's clap it up for that.
In Texas.
I'm feeling like Nori right now, man. Jink champs, bro. That's what I'm talking about. We got it going on right now. Come on, we are learning as we are earning, baby, sewing and scoring. That was wonderful. I didn't want to stop the flow, Mr. Q.
Oh, no problem. And I must rewind. My first foray into any sort of music promotions, I have to thank an old family friend named Stephen Hill. If Steve's out there, hope he catches you somewhere. Haven't seen him in
Stephen
years.
Hill?
No, not Stephen Hill from Boston and BET fame. Stephen Hill, brother in Detroit. Steve worked for
Down South Stephen Hill.
Geez.
Yeah.
J. Walter Thompson, advertising firm.
Nice.
At the time. So Steve was working with a group called C-Bank. And they had a song called Wired for Games. You can find it on YouTube.
Mm-hmm.
So the first thing I ever did, I came up with a contest for the song, and we did a video game contest at it was this roller rink in Detroit.
Mm-hmm.
And so that was the first music promotion I ever did.
Right.
And it kind of got me going from there. Prior to that, I would say I got my marketing and promotion chops from doing I used to skateboard.
Right.
and I had a skateboard team, and the Wizard was on my team.
Yes.
I had it was called the Radical Riders, and I got a sponsorship by 4 companies out of California. Or I guess in hindsight, kind of a major feat considering we were little black inner city skateboarders, right? And nobody was doing that in Detroit at the time.
That's today. That's
You know,
still
all the
big now.
skateboarders in California.
Right, right.
This is back during like the Dogtown days, and you know,
Mhm.
so I got us sponsored by 4 companies, and in doing that and talking to these companies and calling them up, trying to get them on board, that kind of taught me the basics of doing promotions.
Come on now.
So you know, I took that forward to the music side when I started doing that.
That's amazing right there. I mean, I know Keir is just going through some of the things, but what I'm saying is like in hip hop, there were so many different golden periods. And you were, let me ask you, do you know who this brother is right here?
My man Chucky D and Flavor Flav. Those are my dudes. Those are my dudes.
Do you know what this person right here? If I can pull up one of my
Who was that in
quotes.
the silhouette? Who was that in the silhouette?
Huh?
That's your man, isn't it? You all had on the show last week, right?
Yeah, yeah.
Brother E Love.
With the soul, yeah, E Love. I couldn't pull this up, but
brother E Love, the
I'm
Target.
You can't tell.
Oh yeah, the Target.
But the reason why I did that, about Chuck D said about this gentleman on our line right now, and I'm from the Zoom, Mr. Keir Worthy. He is a serious power broker, industry power broker. Tell us about Chuck D. I mean, we are going all around, man. Tell us about Public Enemy days, brother.
Very fortunate. You know, I was always very, very, very grateful and fortunate to work with those guys because I admired what they do so much. You know, their music, their message, their intention, and they're just cool brothers. You know, I met them during that first album.
Yeah.
That's the that's from the second album.
I know
from the second album.
I know
the first album, Yo Bum Rushed the Show.
Yeah,
met them then when I first met Chuck when they were on tour. When they were on tour.
Yeah.
And you know, have just remained in touch over the years. You know, people who you really connect with, you don't have to speak to them every day to still have that connection.
Right.
I recently saw Chuck a couple times last year. I went out to LA to meet with him regarding a documentary that we're working on, and had lunch with him. And you know, really, you know, it's always great seeing him. It's like I saw him yesterday. You know, then I saw him again back in the at the end of the year for this premiere of the Willie Mays documentary on HBO, because Chuck did the closing song for that film that Nelson George produced.
Okay.
So you know, Chuck has always been the same cat, real, down to earth, intentional about the culture. You know, he told me then initially about the hip hop union that he started with KRS-One and Curtis Blow and a few other, you know, veteran stalwarts.
Yes.
So, you know, all in support of what they're trying to put together and do for rap and the hip hop culture overall. You know, trying to give these guys who've now grown up with it and didn't always get their just desserts, give them some level of equity and support. Now they're hitting our elderly years. You know, we're not kids anymore.
Right.
Some people don't have health insurance or have, you know, some down situations. So, you know, Chuck has always been about it. He's always been about it, and it hasn't changed. You know, Flavor's my man also. Actually, interesting story. I took them to Austin one day. They had a tour date in Houston. Went down, hung out with them for a tour date, and they were off. I said, "Yo, why don't y'all come to Austin with me?" So they came to Austin for the first time ever.
Right.
And Chuck was actually writing. What song was it? It's one of the songs for "Fear of a Black Planet."
Okay.
The lead single off of that. He was writing it in the car.
Wow. On the way to Austin.
Yeah.
Oh, man.
And you know, went out, hung out. We actually went to, I think there was like an AKA or a Delta's regional meeting we went to. Barnstormed that, had a good time.
Right.
We went to the mall in Austin, and they kicked us out of the mall.
Because everybody bum rushed y'all, probably.
Well, people were following us, and we told them, I'm like, look, we're here as customers. We got money. We're trying to spend money.
Right.
Those people are your problem.
Exactly. You know what? Speaking of Austin, I don't want to slide over because this is a monumental. What you're saying, you know, we're going fast. I know we've done this kind of different, but your association with South by Southwest, you're one of the pioneer creators of South by Southwest. Tell us about that.
Well, let's be technical. South by Southwest was literally created by 4 guys. 2 of them was Austin Chronicle. It was Lewis Black, Lewis Myers, Roland Switson, and Nick Barbaro. You know, shout out to those cats. Yeah. Unfortunately, Lewis Myers passed on. A really, really great cat. Really great cat. So I was a panelist, I believe, the first year. Second, third year, I worked on doing panels. I brought like the first urban content to them. I did a panel or 2, and I did the first rap show ever at South by Southwest.
Come on now.
Where I brought in Ultramagnetic, I brought in YZ, I brought in Group Blackmail out of Philly area, Decadent Dub Team, who was on the Color soundtrack, kids out of Dallas, Nemesis, some other kids out of Dallas. We had a whole slew of cats, man. It was really.
The audio went out.
Didn't know at the time that it would be seminal, you know, groundbreaking, so to speak.
Yeah.
But, you know, I was just doing what I loved, what we love to do.
Yeah.
And rap was taking off, and we were trying to put it out there as much as possible and had the opportunity. Actually, I was the reason Benny Medina came. Benny's first South by Southwest was because I invited him to come down.
Wow. Keir, now look, you are serious name dropping for people that are on the inside and the know. So let's go back. There's a lot of New York names that you're dropping. How did you get to New York? When was New York in the picture?
Okay, New York started early on. Well, first of all, it was the hub of most music, right? So of course I had to talk to those guys a lot in trying to do. The first people I met was Manny Bella, and of course, you know, those days most of your meetings were on the phone,
right?
So one of the first people I met was Manny Bella. Manny was the head of promotion at.
Ooh, come back in, Keir.
The label that Run DMC is on.
Okay. Well, say that again. Manny Bella was where? What? Say it again.
At Profile Records.
Profile Records. Okay.
The label that Run DMC was on.
That's right.
Hey, whip it out, right?
I'm with you, man. Come on.
So he was at several other folks from there. You know, from New York.
Right.
You guys see me? Yeah. So I met several other people from New York at the time.
Okay.
And it went from there. You know, when I started working for Megatone, I got the chance to go to 2 conferences. I went to Young Black Programmers Convention, which was in Houston that year, and I got a chance to go to the last BRE that was outside of LA for years.
Now, what does BRE stand for people that don't really know what that's about?
The music publication.
What was that?
Which stood for Black Major Music Publication at the time, called Black Radio Exclusive.
Black Radio.
And they had one of the 2 biggest music conferences for Black music at the time. It was BRE in LA and Jack the Rapper in Atlanta.
Jack the Rapper in Atlanta and BRE. Those was great things. This is wonderful history out there for y'all that's talking about on the executive.
So that's where the New York connection came in. You know, one led to the other, and we kind of went from there.
Now, Keir, let me ask you a question, fam, because I think was this one that was around the time that we met in New York, right? Or
okay.
I'm thinking, I can't remember, but it's so long, you know what I'm saying? But the reason why I'm asking, because when I met Keir, I knew Keir was somebody. You feel what I'm saying? He didn't have to have time to chat with me, but he was so personal. But what I've seen is, man, this brother is on top of his game all the way around the world. And last week we were just talking about it, right, B-Dub, with E-Love and TJ online about professionalism. And it seems like a lot of the things, brother, you are the creator of a lot of these power movements. And where do you get the motivation from, Keir?
Didn't know I was creating whatever I was creating at the time. You know, I've always been creative, which is a good thing. And, you know, things strike you. Hopefully you're passionate about it and you just try to make it happen. You know, the promotions company I started was just an idea. You know, I was DJing. I was getting a bunch of records that people weren't getting down there, but they were good records. So I thought about, I'm like, you know what if we could be, what if, you know, myself and my friend Ward, I'm like, what if we could be like the satellite office
Yes.
for these companies, these labels that aren't big enough to have an office like a CBS
Right.
or a a Warner or whatever.
Right.
So I proposed the idea. He's like, "Yeah, we can't do that. You're crazy. Like, we don't
I'm
have no
saying, like,
money."
is that a Michigan thing, man? That's no fear. I mean, like, where did that come from? Because your man is right there with you, like, you can't do that. You like, and Keir, I know that's how you roll. You do it. You make it happen.
Well, the thing is this: when you get a chance to grow up and see people that look like you doing everything,
yes,
you don't really think there's something that you can't do.
Amen.
Growing up in Detroit was a wonderful thing because I saw Black people do everything.
Talk about
I saw Black entrepreneurs. I saw black just company owners. I saw Black judges. We had the Black mayor my entire life, Coleman Young.
Hey,
So you're like, I don't think about anything, whatever it is, we can do it.
Detroit got you ready for the world in a different way with the environment.
Yeah, very much so. Very much so.
And then within that, you were pioneering your own. So by the time, that makes sense. When you get to New York, you find out that a lot of people are afraid to do the things that outsiders kind of come there and just say, hey, we're going to do this.
Well, it's funny you should mention that because, the phrase always, in New York, if you can make it here, you can make it anywhere, right?
Yeah.
I think if you can make it in Detroit, you can go anywhere.
Real deal.
Because I just really never played any place I've been to that I didn't feel comfortable because I think I had a strong cultural base.
Yes.
Yes. Mm-hmm. I knew as a Black man, there was no question. I wasn't on the fence about it. I wasn't on a bubble about it. I'm like, I'm a Black man and I can do this. And this would mean anything.
Yes.
And
that's the power of music. That's a beautiful thing right there.
Mr. Worthy, let me ask you a question. What would you say is the difference between a DJ and a disc jockey?
Hold on, man. Sorry about that, y'all.
Oh, let's see. A disc jockey to me is somebody that's on the radio. And not a bad thing. They can still be a DJ, but you're on there, you're playing music, but you're relating to the public, you're touching the community. A DJ I see as someone who's predominantly playing music. You're in the club, you're in the lounge, you're here presenting music to the public and hopefully exposing them to new music, new sounds, new genres, right? Even more so than the disc jockey. Hopefully the stuff that the DJ is playing makes it to the radios for the disc jockeys to expose.
Facts. So my next question will be, so would you say DJs break records?
They should. They don't do it as much these days.
Right.
But they should. That to me is your job. You know what I mean?
Right.
But unfortunately, I think too much happens these days that the DJs are parroting the radio.
Mm-hmm.
So instead of playing things that you haven't heard before, they're playing things that you've already heard on the radio that they feel have been vetted and validated. I think there's a certain fear or an overt desire to be instantly popular with DJs these days, where they're playing things that people already know and heard instead of exposing them to things they never heard.
Exactly. I understand.
And having the ear to say, "Hell, you know what? This is dope."
Right.
Like when we played this time, that happened because people had ears. They're like, "Yo, this song is ridiculous." So I'm gonna be the first one to debut it.
Right.
Situation. Rockmaster Scott, The Roof Is on Fire, all those songs. People were like, I want to play it first.
Yes.
I don't want to play it first. I want to make it hit and make radio play it.
Whatever happened, they stopped doing that, man.
I know.
They stopped doing it.
Like I said, people became too commercial, too desirous to be instantly liked, instantly popular, instantly famous. Right. So I'm gonna just play the hits, And since I have something at my disposal, like a Serato, and a computer, I can just access everything. Instead of accessing everything that people haven't heard, I'm accessing all the songs that I know people already like.
Right.
So
all right, I'm gonna go
the element of teaching that goes on with a good DJ is taken away.
No, what I was gonna add on to what you were saying is like in the executive, you were saying like because everybody's really familiar the 50th anniversary of hip hop. You know, one thing I didn't see them is I didn't really see them honoring a lot of the pioneers executives. You know,
Well, no, because it was about the music, and at the start of hip hop, there were no executives.
that's true.
You know, from they're saying 50 years. That'd be like 73.
Right.
There were no rap executives, quote unquote, until the 90s.
Now,
Really?
when you got to what was your first? Because I know you were very built in with the first rap. What was the first rap promotion team legend label that you represented? Because your label game is legendary as well too. A lot of people don't know they got to do their homework on what you got going on, Mr. Worthy, sir.
Well, our label contest came from doing independent promotion. So
Okay.
when I started Hot Wax, our clients were Tommy Boy, Def Jam, Cold Chillin', Select.
This one right here.
Oh, definitely came.
See how I'm ready?
Death.
See how you about to be out there on your podcast
So you're ripping them out.
You got to be ready, y'all. Come on.
Tell us a little
story about
Nasty
Big Daddy
Mix.
Kane and Cold Chillin', fam.
Oh, wow. Cold Chillin', shout out to them. Love to all the family at Cold Chillin'.
Come on.
We did Kane, we did Roxanne Shante, we did Big, we did Biz Markie, Cool G Rap, who to this day is one of the most underrated MCs ever. Love Cool G.
Yes.
And to be frank with you, Cool G and Kane to me are the blueprint of modern rap music.
I would agree.
If you look at them, if you look at those guys, whether it be their style,
put Rakim in it too.
Right, definitely. But I'm saying, Rakim was a unique anomaly, right? There's nobody that really sounds or mimics Rakim, but so many guys have taken the path that got set out by Cool G and Kane, whether it be subject matter, whether it's rap style, whether it's dress style. Exactly.
Showmanship.
Yeah. So, they set the tone, really. 20 years after, they were doing their thing initially.
Yes.
They are the stamp of hip hop. Jay even said it on his Black album. What did he say? I'm like Cool G in his prime.
Cool G in his prime. You know what I'm saying? A lot of people hustle. Oh my goodness, man. Cool G was my man. You know what?
He gave it up. He gave it up.
I got those records too. I just want to and see. So what I'm saying, like, man, thank you, Keir, for this. When not only does you know what to do, but Keir, you took the rap promotions to another level just because you had no fear, brother. I know you. That's why everybody loves you to this day. Tell us one thing that you did, maybe with this group.
Now, I tell you, I love the guy. I never got to work with him though. But I was definitely a person when I was DJing. I played guy. Groove Me to this day is one of my favorite songs. Killer. I guess the connection with them would be that we were some of the first to do promotion for Uptown. Okay. And they were early Uptown act.
Right.
I met Andre. I said,
there's your connection,
I have to rewind and tell you the story because Andre was very integral in the start of Hot Wax Promotions.
That's the piece to Andre.
Right. So doing promotions for Andre, their first go around as being a label, we did Heavy D, we did I'll Be Sure. We didn't get to do Guy because they were through MCA, and MCA at the time took them over immediately.
They
were like a smash out the box.
Uptown was like the record company that had Mary J. Blige, Biggie, Guy, Heavy D and the Boys, Soul for Real, and every label just came in. Give me that because
they had Jeff Red.
I was working
for Father MC.
Hey fam, I was working. My first gig was with Happy Birthday to Hard Hitting Harry today, by the way.
Oh man, Harry.
Yeah.
What's up, Harry?
Yeah, shouts out to Harry. So
what's up, Harry?
Me and Harry was working for Angelo Ellerby, fam, at Double X Exposure.
Oh, Double Exposure?
Yeah. Yep. and they climbed at the time.
Angelo last week. Huh? Angelo did a dedication. Angelo is handling Melba Moore. Yes. And they just named the street after Melba last week.
That's right, in Newark.
He handled the dedication on that.
See that. So I was working with Angelo, and me and Harry was there at the same time. And Harry brought in this cassette tape that had
Okay.
Biggie and Mary when Biggie was killing that thing, and Uptown, you know, they put it out, and MCA was like they didn't want that to come out because Biggie had that verse on Mary's verse first. I heard the cassette.
Right.
Anyway, I'm tripping, but Uptown. The reason why I said that is I was working with her, and Uptown they snatched all that stuff up from them family. Come on,
Okay.
talk about it.
Yeah. So Andre
Exclusive,
was a longtime friend and an integral factor to starting Hot Wax Promotions.
Yeah, very integral. Look, now let me ask you something else because I'm getting feedback from our executive producer that these is good. This is good with the records. What about this group right here?
Beasties.
Yes,
Another one that got taken away. Now the
Wow.
Beasties were on Def Jam.
Yeah.
And shout out to my man Kane, Hurricane.
Now you worked with Def Jam in what capacity?
Yeah, what we did. We were doing before Def Jam had a staff. We were doing independent promotion for Def Jam, and so we worked all that stuff. Now the Beastie Boys, we didn't get to do them very long because they took off, and the pop department of Columbia took over everything.
Okay, what happened? Well, tell us about. Okay, so you said
he was on Elizabeth Street.
Talk about it, Keir.
Yeah, they whenever an urban record, black record gets popular, the urban staff gets kicked to the side and the pop staff comes in and takes all the rewards. Yeah. That's what happened with the Beastie Boys.
Rewind that. Say that again.
Here's what's funny. Here's what's funny. Check this out though.
You gotta say that again.
Black music and black people play different songs off of that album than the other team did.
Yeah.
We played No Sleep Till Brooklyn.
Right.
We played Brass Monkey.
Yeah. Come on.
We played Paul Revere.
What did they play mostly? The pop.
They played Fight for Your Right to Party.
You gotta fight. The song we would least play. No offense.
They played Girls.
That great record, classic record.
It was.
But you break it down.
That was dope. But yeah, we played certain stuff.
So
we played certain stuff.
So while we
here's a good Beastie story for you though. I was still in Austin. We're doing Hot Wax. Beasties came to Austin, right? And so we picked up Kane. Me and my man Ward picked up Kane to go hang out right before the show.
Come on, man.
And every time guys from New York came down, they always wanted to drive.
They always wanted to what?
They always wanted to drive. Because they couldn't drive in New York and they didn't have a license, whatever the case may be, right? Mothers would get getting a license taken, driving down one-way streets and shit. Anyway, so we took them out to a couple stores. And of course, everybody's mind gets blown when they get to Texas when they see all the space and all the new buildings and so forth, right? So we're driving and we're in the ride. I think we're headed back to the venue, right? And it's like I don't know, like Friday night or something, like, and it's a college town, so cats are always partying. Ah! So this group of cats drive up next to us, right? Like sorority dudes. I mean, these fraternity boys, right? And they're like, so the King's in the passenger side. He rolls down the window, right? And the guys are like, dude, where's the party at? Where's the party at? And he, blank face as you could want to be, he said, in your mouth, and everybody's coming. Man. Man, I was done.
Big Daddy.
That was just not Hurricane. That was Hurricane, not Big Daddy.
Oh, that was Hurricane.
Hurricane from the Beasties.
Oh my God, Hurricane. Okay. Damn, shout out. That's crazy. Hurricane.
Oh my God.
I missed that.
Yo. He was a smart, quick-witted cat, man. Shout out to Hurricane.
Hurricane, shout out to that. Man, that's crazy. So you there? So man, you what else, man? So Keir, tell us, man, what are you working on? You're always involved in stuff, and I want to appreciate you like linking me with the Kwanzaa Film Festival. Could you tell me what's some more things that you're involved with?
Well, the Kwanzaa Film Festival is one coming up, of course, during Kwanzaa, starting the day after Christmas, running along that whole week, coincide with the 7 principles of Kwanzaa, the Nguzo Saba.
Yes.
That's going to be this year.
On the 27th of December, so that's Kwanzaa.
Sound like you need to be in New York. That's what it sounds like.
Do. Yes.
So the Kwanzaa Film Festival this year will be, as it usually is in Harlem, but it's going to be held at the Schomburg.
Okay.
Which is, really? Legendary museum. Yeah.
New York, Uptown Harlem.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Shout out to the director, Ina Norris.
Uh-huh.
I've had the good fortune of knowing Ina for a number of years and have worked with the film festival for about 5 or 6 of its 7 years.
Shouts out to them.
Working on the first United States Martial Arts Film Festival,
That's
which
what
will be in
Lee.
Scottsdale, Arizona. We were scheduled to be this month, but because of
Yeah.
the actor strike, we postponed it.
Right.
So we will have a new date soon.
Yes.
Yes. As the executive director of the Organization of Black Designers, we are working on a few events. We're going to be doing a series of events
Run
next
that back
year.
real quick. You are the executive director of one more. Say that again for everybody.
The Organization of Black Designers.
Tell me about how you came up with that, Mr. Worthy Keir.
Well, I didn't come up with it. It was devised by a brother named David Johnson. David Rice.
Okay.
David Rice is almost a native Detroiter. He moved to Detroit for college. He went to study at the CCS, College of Creative Studies, where he was one of the first blacks to graduate from the industrial design program.
Okay.
David always saw a need way back then for representation of black talent, black design talent in the mainstream. So he created the organization, and this is our 30th year in existence.
Amazing.
So we're trying to pump that up.
Right.
And we have extended our reach to international waters. So we now have members overseas in a few countries in Africa, in the UK, in Asia, in Europe, Switzerland. Yes. So yeah, we're really trying to push that agenda, especially now that design has become such a serious focal point and has a certain amount of respect.
You know what? That's amazing that you say that, because my co-host DUBB is also into making designs of different things, whether it's the trading cards. Because DUBB used to be in look here, watch how I connect you guys real quick. DUBB used to work for Norm Nixon, fam.
Oh no, that's so wild. I just saw 2 things on Norm Nixon.
Watch this, DUBB.
I just watched a documentary with Debbie Allen, where she talked extensively about meeting Norm and their relationship and how they got together. And then of course I saw an interview. I don't know if you've seen the show Winning Time on HBO.
Tell about it.
About the Laker dynasty.
Gotcha.
And it focuses on that time that Norm was there. So yeah, Norm Nixon. That's a good deal. Good deal.
Yeah. Norm was in the sports agency business back in the early 2000s. Well, early to mid 2000s, and then I worked for him, and that was my West Coast thing. I went out to the West Coast. That was a good time in my life as well, because I learned a lot about Broadway and all kind of stuff that he did on the side, other than just
Right. Yeah, he and Debbie Allen had a lot of reach.
Yeah, he was a real hustler.
Yeah,
he was a real hustler. Norm was. He had two. I would say he would have 2 or 3 things to do early in the morning, and they was paying him like a couple $100,000 a year. So he was hustling, making his money. And he was getting it. When I say getting it, he showed me the difference of hustling on a corporate level.
Right.
He was really getting it in. But I learned a lot from him.
There's definitely a difference.
One of my mentors, learned a lot from him.
Oh, fantastic. Let me move here to get this. Got myself big in there. There we go. How about that? Is that a little better for you guys?
Yeah, looks great, man. Well, look like you in some sun, man. Where you
I'm in some sunshine. It's a beautiful day here.
Where's here today?
There
if
we
you
go.
don't
There
mind
we
me
go.
asking, you don't have to. We're gonna do a tape delay, so you can tell us anything.
So I'm here on the East Coast with a beautiful sunny day.
Come on now.
Summer's still going on, fortunately. Fall hasn't hit us yet.
Right on. Hey, I don't know what quarter we in, man. You know what I'm saying? But I want to tell you, all right, since I'm gonna follow up from last week, we had TJ Duckett and E Love. And what about this folk, brother, right here?
Oh man, you talking about LL.
That's real.
LL. I still have my LL tour jacket, believe it or not.
Tour jacket. Wow. You going to say you already got a tour jacket. Tell us about LL Cool J and Def Jam days. I'll get my Burning Mac on. Tell us about it.
Now, as much as I love L, I'm a huge L fan, right? Right. And believe it or not, L is actually Chuck D's favorite rapper.
Did we talk that? Did me and you talk about these records thing I'm about to do today before we came on?
No.
I'm saying, come on now.
Catch me off guard.
I'm trying to.
In fact, I love that single, that album. That was the first soundtrack we ever got to do promotion for, Less Than Zero.
This one right here?
Yeah.
And I
First,
just
first movie soundtrack ever involved with.
all my vinyl looks and sounds real crisp and clean, by the way. 18, this is from my home. Still
Your
smell
own
like
collection,
my
right?
basement in Kalamazoo, baby. You dig it?
Man.
Kalamazoo.
Hey, so
Tell us
how
about that. Tell us about
was
the
it?
soundtrack. I'm tripping. Let me stop.
How was it working with Sir Mix-a-Lot?
Oh, Mix was cool, man. You know, and we worked with Mix during the early. We were like some of the first promoters to ever work with Mix, right?
What?
His first song had already been out, and I contacted them from that record. You know, because back in the day, the independents, you know, they put their phone numbers and addresses on the records so people could reach them. So I reached out to Nasty Mix, and the guy that ran his label, and he was a partner with Mix, was a guy named Ed Locke, right? So got in touch with Locke, told him what we did. So, you know, fortunately took a chance on us doing promotion. So we worked the second half of the first single, which was Square Dance Rap, and everything after that, man. I can say we definitely helped to take Posse on Broadway national.
Yes.
Man.
Because we were already doing promotions in our region, but then we had other friends in other parts of the country that I put onto the record, and you know they took it there, you know, and then they got the video on BET, and it was a wrap.
Oh my goodness.
You know,
his song,
and also another one. People don't realize the term hoopty is a Sir Mix-a-Lot term.
Sir Mix-a-Lot.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
My hoopty. Boom,
Hoopty,
boom.
yeah. I mean, it's in
Man,
international.
I got that
It's in
record right
international
there.
vernacular now.
I didn't even know you was gonna say Sir
Yeah.
Mix-a-Lot,
Yeah.
fam.
Yeah.
Hey, watch this one,
Mix-a-Lot.
Dub. Watch this one, Dub.
Is that
Bum, bum,
PRT?
bum, bum.
Is that PRT?
That's Donald Byrd.
Oh, Bird. Oh, man, please. See,
Bum, bum,
now you're going there. Now you're going there.
I'm going there. You know
Okay,
we go there.
let me state this. First and foremost,
Come on now.
besides loving music, my first musical love is jazz. Right? It's one of the first two styles of music I remember hearing was jazz and soul, right? I love jazz, love it to this day. We had a legendary jazz station in Detroit called WJZZ,
Come on.
which was the nation's only 24/7 jazz station, and heard so much stuff from that station, right? And Donald Byrd is also an esteemed Cass Tech alumni.
Cass Tech. There we go.
And probably one of the top 10 most sampled artists out there, period.
Come on now. Come on now.
I mean, from Jazzy Jeff to Black Moon to everybody is sampled Donald Byrd.
This record is one of my favorites right here. I mean, like I'm gonna be honest with you, man. Like as you see, I got a great ridiculous collection, and we didn't plan this, and I'm just pulling out.
I think you're just trying to show off, Mike.
No, I'm not. I'm doing this for us.
You just trying to show off.
Bam, I'm trying to let people know who you are. Look, this is so random. This is the only way I could explain who you are. Look, fam.
Isaac,
Mike over here flexing his mad vinyl connection.
Come on, man. You know,
Isaac,
flex.
Hey, you can call us up for the sample list if you want.
Flex.
Come on, man. What about this brother right here? Well, tell us about what you did with Isaac Hayes. I know you got a story.
You know, he's a person I wanted to meet, never got to meet. We're in the same place, but I didn't get to meet him.
Right. I know his son is an executive.
Loves his music,
right?
man. Yeah, you know what's so funny? I looked him up yesterday. Isaac Hayes III has got a tech situation that he's doing out of Atlanta.
Speaking of tech, I know you're into the tech world. Tell us, everybody, because we have another friend of ours who's heavy in the tech. Speaking of heavy,
I'm in the tech.
Okay.
Class.
Love, we're gonna have a tech talk with you. Now he was put out. When you put out heavy,
maybe you're always welcome to come back.
Wait, you put out heavy?
No, that was the Fat Boys one.
Oh, I couldn't see that. Okay. Oh, you know, let me tell you something. I had a conversation the other day with a friend of mine. They have been largely left out of the whole Hip Hop 50 conversation.
They did.
I've heard nothing about the Fat Boys, man.
That's sad.
Now I haven't seen everything done on Hip Hop 50, but they have not been mentioned much at all.
Yeah, 50.
You know,
Fat Boys is one of my favorites. In this, I have all their records in there. I got a couple of them. You dig it? But they were one of the,
right?
you know, they were like, you had to have
Rest
a
in
Fat
peace to
Boy
Buff,
record.
rest in peace to Mark.
Yep.
You know,
Boys, man. But
Well,
you
we
were
got an
talking about
event
your
coming up.
jazz
Hey,
connection.
Mike Mitch, we
Yes,
got
sir.
an event coming up called Urban AI Live coming up.
Tell everybody about it, D-Dub. Tell everybody again.
Urban AI Live is a conference that we're having that's gonna tell the kids about using AI with the music and everything on the urban side.
okay.
So it's gonna be in Indianapolis. I don't have a date right now, but basically it tells you how to keep people that's older music, how to keep their music alive once they passed on. And
Now, is that gonna take place before the end of the year or after the first of the year?
It should be December.
Okay.
Now, Dub, just to let you know that if Keir gets a hold of it and promotes it for you, you know it's all over the world, right?
Matter of fact, he can come speak on the what's that
on the panel. That's awesome.
Definitely forward to you talk about the conference. I mean, I'm actually one of the things you asked some things I'm doing. One of the endeavors I'm involved in is I'm working with a collective called ICGNU, which is put together by our brother Israel Wilson. Shout out to Israel.
Shouts out.
Israel's a tech head, Web3 guy, blockchain guy who's been in the mix since Web 1.0. You know, he's a Web 3.0 guy, definitely. And his collective is looking to coalesce all these different talents and energies that he has at his disposal to push Web3 forward for the culture, for us.
Here, now let me ask you a quick question. With you saying that, how are you, someone in your position, how do you merge the tech game with all of your context that you've had from the early 80s, pioneering from the early days of hip hop, all the way through your career, your marvelous career with the promotions, the rap, the techno? You know, how do you envision yourself bridging all those together in the future?
That's a good question because, and I say it's a good question because it's a question that I'm still in the process of answering. I'm learning the tech side myself. You know, it's rapid, it's ever changing. You know, there's new stuff to learn. I am involved with some people like Israel and some other folks for that reason, to learn more so I can adapt it to, you know, the resources I have at hand. You know, blockchain technology, this, you know, emerging AI technology, you know, trying to see where all that fits in and how it can work and hopefully work to our benefit, not detriment.
Gotcha.
That's excellent right there, man. So let me say, like, you were telling me there's so many people. I don't know. What about this one right here? Let's see. This is one of my favorites. What about this one right here?
I'm presuming since that's Casablanca, that's Parliament Funkadelic, one of the joints.
That's real. You know it. Tell us about it. Don't talk.
Love them, man. I've had points of connection to George at different stages over the years, whether it's my friendship with Roger Troutman or Amp Fiddler and his brother Bubs, who played with Tim for a long time, to sitting in the studio for like 6 hours waiting for him to get there and start recording.
Man, if you George Clinton is a very much a friend of idol mine. I know B-Dub. I know he loves the funk too. You know what I'm saying? But like, that's just amazing.
I think the sound the sound of Detroit is George Clinton.
Yes.
Yeah.
Whether it's
sound of hip hop
knee
is George Clinton.
Whether it's Flashlight, whether you know.
Yeah.
Man, are you kidding?
Yeah. That George Clinton is definitely pioneered for hip hop. You know what I'm saying? And like, what about this record right here?
Working at Car Wash.
Tell us about it.
I think Car Wash is definitely the Black people's album. I think from coast to coast, everybody knows at least one song from Car Wash, man.
That's it, man. And think about the records.
One of the best soundtracks ever.
Best
from top to bottom. From top to
you
bottom.
had said something earlier that really touched my soul. You said that your mother worked a couple of offices down from Motown.
Yeah.
Tell us about those experiences, because I want you to touch back on that about seeing Black people and successful Black people being raised and how that influenced you. Speak on that some more, brother, please.
Yeah, I wish I could remember the exact name of the company that she worked for at the time. I want to say the Foundation, but anyway, she also had a friend at Motown. which kind of came into play for me doing promotions also later on because of her relationship with him. He gave her, promotional copies of records.
Yeah.
And I'll never forget at the time the Megatone thing came around, about to come around. We had a few records I listened to. One was T-Boy Rock. It was let's see, what's my girl's name? Who did Give It Up for Love?
Mm-hmm.
Her album, T-Boy Ross's album, who was Diana Ross's brother, and Mondre, if you remember that.
Okay.
So I'm listening to Mondre album before it was released, which is a promo copy, and I'm thinking, who picks the songs to get promoted to play on the radio, right?
Right.
That's just stuck in my head. Who does the A&R here, right?
Right.
Because they had a song in that album, Freakin's Fine. And I'm like, this is a smash. The next year, they released that as a single.
Right.
And I don't know how it did every place else, but it was huge in Detroit.
Yeah. See.
So yeah, Motown had its influences, and that specifically, got me on the road in the mindset of like, how do you do promotion? Who does this? What's behind it?
And when you're looking at vinyl covers and you're a DJ and you're growing up and you're getting into that, and then you were, that I could see how that helped you to be fearless, fam. Hey, B Dub 10, what you got to ask Mr. Keir Worthy for today? What else you got to ask for him?
Before you ask that question, I got to say something. I got to set the record straight. You said fearless many times. I'd be lying if I said I had no fear.
Okay.
I think a lot of us do. It's something that I wanted to put out there.
Okay.
I think most of us have fear at any given time. The difficult but sometimes necessary part is harnessing that fear and directing that fear in a way that pushes you instead of holding you back.
Amen.
And I think in those instances where I did these things, I just used the fear as a propellant, as opposed to a deterrent.
Right. Facts.
So B, your question?
That's
my question will be to you is what would be your top 5 music soundtracks of all time?
Oh wow. Let me see.
Movie soundtrack, yeah.
Movie soundtracks. Now mind you, I'm a huge movie head, so I got a bunch of it in my mind. But you just pulled up Isaac Hayes, the Shaft soundtrack.
Yeah.
Superfly. Let's see, Shaft, Superfly, American Gigolo.
Oh.
Car Wash. Who else would make it in there?
Maybe The Wiz.
Who else would make it in there?
I don't know.
It's tough, man. It's so many. It's so many.
There's so many, man. I think I like the soundtrack.
Yeah.
But it ain't for me. It's about you.
What would be my last one? What would be my last one? Saturday Night Fever.
Saturday Night Fever. That's a great one too.
Oh,
man.
that's a go. Saturday Night Fever.
Yeah.
You can't beat that.
Yeah, it was huge. You get a lot of good songs on there.
Talk about it on point. Here we go.
Oh yeah, cool. You got Cooley High.
We got records over here, baby.
Good one.
Well, we just
but there's so many great soundtracks there, man. So many great soundtracks.
So many wonderful questions. We just came into the halftime point, and we just want to make sure that we shout out to our sponsors. Sponsored by Kellogg's Sports. Let's see. Let's go and get this right. We got Kellogg's in the spot. We got Come Through Network right here with I'm From the Zoo. Hey, right here we got our special guest, Keir Worthy. Keir, tell us your special I'm From the Zoo. Tell us your Kalamazoo moment. How you connected to the zoo? Besides
how about connected to the zoo?
Whatever else, man, tell us.
I've been there a few times, of course. What must be like? But I'm trying to remember Renee's last name. I had a crush on a woman from Kalamazoo when I was in like junior high.
Okay.
and Kalamazoo at the time seemed a million miles away because it wasn't the same city. Right. So you're in 7th, 8th grade, man. I was on the phone. Yeah. What else? The Kalamazoo song. Remember that? I'm going to the zoo. How about you?
Yeah,
You can come
I remember that song.
too, because I'm going to the zoo.
Zoo.
Yeah.
That's my
That's
big
great.
Kalamazoo connection.
That's real, man. Tell me something about Dougie Fresh.
Other than Dougie having a smash, I remember this. I think it was my second year at UT. I was DJing.
Yep.
Everybody came back from Christmas break, right?
Okay.
And everybody knew the show.
Right.
Mhm.
The
Right.
show and Lottie Dottie. They're like, you got that song? Lottie Dottie, the show?
That was hard.
That hard is an understatement.
We're not talking when you could just zap in and get the
Oh my God, this was a
MTV.
smash. Are you kidding?
Mhm.
I couldn't do it. I couldn't do a party and not play that song. Could not do a party. More currently,
Mhm.
Dougie, seen Dougie. There's a buddy of mine I was working with, James Wallace, who unfortunately passed over the COVID period. Rest in peace, Jay. So J-Dub, as we called him, worked closely with Dougie. And so I've seen Dougie a few times via that, hung out with him at the New York Auto Show, where he did an incredible performance, and he usually does. You know, Dougie is one of the few rap showmen still in existence. If you want to know how to give a show, look at Dougie.
Look at Dougie.
Also, my old assistant from Electra, her name is Mary Sierra. Mary manages Dougie, and shout out to Mary.
How about that? That was just so random. I thought about Dougie. Now, you speaking of Electra, what was your? Well, we don't care about title, but if you want to, what was your job at Electra when you were at Electra?
My job at Electra, and that's the entity that got me to New York from Texas. I moved here to become the head of the rap department. The rap department was all of 3 people: myself, doing the promotion and marketing, Dante Ross, who did the A&R, and my man Fred Jackson, still my dude to this day. Fred is over at TV and Radio One right now.
Okay.
That conglomerate. We actually had the first rap department at a major label.
See there? That's
and,
why I wanted to talk
our,
about
it. Our roster was comprised of Brand Nubian, Leaders of the New School featuring Buster,
Man.
KMD, who featured the future MF Doom, Pete Rock and CL Smooth, Shazzy. Who else we had? We had it was Tyson and Woody out of Detroit, who came up under Amp and Buff's Fiddler. Shinehead, who was doing reggae rap early on, and he was a favorite of the head of the label owner, Bob Krasnow. So yeah, that was our rap department.
You said he was a favorite?
Oh yeah. The owner of the label, Bob Krasnow. Bob loved Shinehead.
I was wondering how Shinehead got a lot of no pun intended. He got
a lot of Shinehead. Yeah, but
Shinehead
was dope. Let me tell you, quick side. One of the greatest performances I've ever seen, live performances, was Shinehead.
Yeah.
My first couple weeks at the label up in New York, we went to Jamaica for a Reggae Sunsplash.
Come on now.
Shinehead came on. I mean, Reggae Sunsplash was 24 hours, right? Shinehead must have come on about, 3 a.m, something like that, right? But the place is packed. The crowd was hyped.
What?
Shinehead, and I was half asleep, right? I woke up completely. Shine's performance was that electric.
Wow.
I mean, there was like a pit in front of the stage, between the stage and the audience.
Yeah.
Like nothing there. There's a fenced off, right? Shine going his thing, right? He jumps off the stage, so you can't see him for a while. Everybody's like, where's Shine? Where's Shine? He emerges on top of the fence. He's on the top of the fence, and the crowd is going wild. He's scooting along the fence, still chatting. He jumps off the fence. People are like, where's Shine again? He's still chatting. He's at the rival's microphone, right? He's still chatting. He runs through the audience to a tower in the middle of the audience, right? In the middle of the crowd. He climbs up the tower. The spotlight finds him on the tower, still going. People went berserk, man. I've never seen anything like it.
Everywhere.
I never seen anything like it. He had the most energy I've ever seen, man. He was killing it.
Wow.
Yeah, I got
it was amazing. It was amazing.
Shouts out to Shinehead. Wonderful story. Thank you for sharing.
From that alone, he should have been a superstar.
So let me ask you a question. You've done a lot for my goodness, man. So for these artists, I mean, that was like 10 right there.
He said he
And,
worked with
and I
Def
know that
Jam.
you still have relationships. Oh, go ahead, B-Dub. I'm sorry.
No, I was just saying he said he worked with Def Jam. So did you ever get a chance to work with one of the underrated female rappers, is Boss from Detroit?
Oh no.
I didn't. Boss came after I left. I wasn't there anymore, but I loved Boss. I thought she didn't get her just desserts, man. One, because she's from the D.
Yeah, no doubt.
Well, no. One, because she was dope. No, let me reverse it. One, because she was dope and is dope.
Yes.
As far as I know, she still got her chops. And two, because she was from the D.
What about working out with Jazzy Jeff?
Oh man, I love Jeff. I think Jeff is no diss to anybody, but Jeff is the premier party DJ.
Yeah.
Nobody plays a party like Jeff to me. I DJ. Plus, I love.
Pretty
I
good.
DJ. I started DJing because I love
That's
the
pretty
dance.
good
Right.
statement. That's pretty good statement. That's really
Well,
good.
look, I started DJing because I love the dance. Same thing with Mills, the Wizard. We both were big dancers, right?
Yeah.
So to me, if a DJ plays well enough for me to continue dancing, that's a great DJ. And a lot of DJs these days don't play for people to dance. They kind of play from their own ego. You know, I want to be the guy, whatever, right? But you play a different way when you love music and you want people to dance. That is the way Jeff plays always. Always. You know, I've had the good fortune to be around Jeff on a few occasions. Really, really good personality, really nice guy. And like I said, one of the most talented DJs ever. I mean, he kills a party. You know how some guys that do tricks and so they forget about you dancing? Jeff will do his turntable and shit and still keep you dancing and amazed. Like, damn, I can't believe he just did that.
Take you there and bring you back, huh?
And his song selection, man.
Right.
You know, he weaves in classics along with new stuff, and he just moves the party. He really does.
He does. I big shouts out to DJ Jazzy Jeff, man. Him, the My Own Eyes Kid, Capri. I mean, there's a couple of them that move the party.
Capri's dope. Capri's dope. He was one of the artists I had when I was at Warner. Good cat. Definitely a showman.
Now, what was your job at Warner?
Well, I did when I was at Electra. I got a call, which I thought they were trying to fool me. I got a call. Well, I got a letter from Benny congratulating me on the position when I got there, right?
Okay.
And then when I went to the WIA conference, which is Warner Electric Atlantic, I got in a conversation with Ray Harris, who was the head of promotion back music at the time, congratulated me and it's like, hey man, we were just thinking about you for our department in Electric. I'm like, oh, okay. And then I got a call. They're like, yo, Benny hit me. I'm like, yo, you think you might want to? I'm like, this is the same family of labels. Like, this is a test, ain't it?
Yeah. So like these long-term friends is like having battles for you now. Yeah.
What?
You thought that they were playing around because like your long relationship with your friends. Now they're like seeking your professionalism. They're pulling you like,
But I'm like, this is a loyalty test. Electra's trying to see if I'm for real, right? I'm like, I ain't falling for that. Yeah. But they said no, we really want you, and they
which is very tricky in the business. That can really happen.
Right. They made me an offer, which was incredible. And some places I've always loved. I mean, as a person that loved music and loved buying records, certain labels always stood out for you. Right. Some certain labels had a reputation, like even if you didn't know the act or whatever, you bought it because it was on that label.
Yes. Because
you were kind of guaranteed a certain amount. Like to buy clothes, like I'm gonna always buy Armani because I know Armani's gonna give me some certain quality.
It's gonna be hidden.
Now I'll find out later if I really, really, really like it, but it's still gonna be Armani. At the very least, I can sell it. Whatever, right? So there were certain labels, like if I buy anything on Tommy Boy, it's gonna be a certain thing. If I buy anything on Profile at the time, it's gonna be a certain thing. If I buy anything on Warner Brothers, come on, they had Prince, they had Clinton, they had it. Be like, shit, I'm buying. So when I got that, I'm like, hell yeah.
You're right.
If one of the places I always would have wanted to work for in the business. So I got the gig. So I went over to Warner as National Promotion and Marketing Director for the rap department for Warner and Reprise Records at the time, actually.
And who was on that? Now, who were you representing at that time? Well,
got a chance to reconnect with all the Cold Chillin' people because they had just done the deal with Cold Chillin'.
Mm-hmm.
So I was back hanging out with Cool Fly Tie. Fly Tie and Lenny and the whole roster, Kane again.
Yep.
I got to really, really be around Kane at the time. Cool G, Roxanne, and a lot of the artists I didn't. Oh, Ice-T, because Ice-T was one of our first promotion assignments.
Right.
Because of his man George Hinojosa, who is still his manager to this day.
Oh, okay.
Shouts to George, good cat. We all kind of came up together. So I got to be back around. See, and while I was there, they signed Sir Mix-a-Lot.
Wow.
That's when he did Baby. That's when he did Baby Got Back.
His music is like novelties. You know what I'm saying? His music like novelties. It ain't even incredible. His music is.
Yeah, I think unfortunately Mix got defined by a couple of records. He got defined by Posse on Broadway. Then he got defined by Baby Got Back. But Mix he was a rapper. He was a real true to the game rapper and made some great songs. If you get a chance and go back and listen to the albums he did before the Warner Brothers album, you can hear some really good stuff on there. He was good at marketing. He thought in terms of positioning himself. He thought in terms of merchandise. I still can't find.
Baby Got Back is like, he'll never lose with a hit song. All you need is one.
Yeah, he had more than one. He had more than one.
Not only that, baby.
More than one.
Some of those beats, a lot of people don't know, but some of those beats is beats from Beastie Boys. The drum beat, the drum line, and then he flipped it. If you listen to it carefully, it'd be something from Beastie Boys made. I talked to Sir Mix-a-Lot about that. And he told me that's what he used to get that sound that he got.
Mix is dope, and Mix is he pioneered the Northwest.
Yes, he did.
Everybody's checking for Seattle now, but is that a techno hop record I just saw for him? Yes, it is right there.
This one,
techno hop. Out of L.A.
Come on now.
That's like the first label Dre was on.
See, come on now. I'm pulling it out. You can see it. I'm flexing for real.
They had some joints.
Flexing for real. The reason why, because man, like we used to have Boogie Records, but Dub, you remember Flip Side and Boogie?
Yeah.
That's where these joints is from, fam. That was our record store back in Kalamazoo.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Wow.
Flip Side Records, Boogie Records. Shouts out. Matter of fact, some of these still got the plastic on them. Tell them where it's from. And I kept my records, man. You know what I'm saying? In good shape, because I like you, everybody started like as a DJ, not everyone, but DJing, because music, soul music, man. I remember growing up, every Saturday listening to Soul Train with my uncle.
Of course.
You know what I'm saying? Well,
one more story
before we get to the countdown. Tell me a story
you couldn't go outside till Soul Train was off.
Couldn't go outside till Soul Train was done. After you done sweated and danced it and found out what it was, then we went to the candy store.
Luther,
tell us.
Or as black people say, Luther Van Drop.
Luther. Looks like we're getting into the fourth quarter.
Now you know Luther was esteemed in Detroit, man. He was black music for a black city, for real. Now, my Luther story is sort of a semi-Luther story. When I was in Houston, at the time I was doing showbiz and everything else, I ushered at this place called, what's the name of the joint? Just had it in my mind and popped out. But I ushered there for various shows they had. And it was Luther's first tour, right? Oh, it's called The Arena. A place called The Arena. Round stage, seating all the way around it. Nice spot. Mm-hmm. And Luther was on his first tour, and George Howard opened for him, if you remember George Howard.
I do.
And George and I became friends that day, that tour. It was his first tour. He might not have been Luther's first tour, but Luther was doing arenas. He wasn't doing big stadiums yet. So it was a pretty intimate setting. And, got a chance to meet George, man, who I, saw over the years at various times. And just a really, really dope brother, man. I miss him. Yeah. Sorry he left us so early.
Yeah.
But his music is great. And all of you out there, get a chance, get on YouTube, look up George Howard.
George Howard,
he was a sax master.
Player, beautiful sax player.
Smooth jazz before smooth jazz was actually a thing.
Yeah. And I gotta tell you something, Kira. You might not know this, but my parents, man, went to college with Luther
Get out.
at Western.
Oh wow.
Yeah, man. They sang in Henry Hall with him. And he even told my mama said she sounded like Dionne Warwick. And then like years later, me and my man X Starsky ran into him in front of the Hit Factory in New York. And I was like,
The
yo,
Hit Factory.
yo, the Hit
Man,
Factory, fam. And I'm
that
like,
was the spot.
yo, I know we was going to the still session and he walked out and I was like, Luther, my parents said that they went to college with you. And he looked and I said, Karen Bank, and he said, Karen, how's she doing? She's still singing? Oh man. And then I said, Matt, he said, Matt's your daddy. And he was like, is his mouth still twisted? And when he did that, man, I couldn't believe it. I couldn't believe it.
He said,
Shouts
still
out to my mom and
singing,
my dad. And shouts
still
out to
singing. That's some black folks for you, right?
that's what I
He
mean,
say,
look,
he say singing, still singing.
he still say
That
sing.
meant your mama could go.
That's where you could go. Hey, man, I'm sure that DUBB, we would like to maybe invite you and talk to you and chop it up a little bit later about maybe being secure you as a host maybe for the conference that DUBB's got going on in Indianapolis. Maybe we could do that a little
No
bit
doubt.
later. You know what I'm saying, man? Because I so appreciate your time. I know we're going to be wrapping up really soon. We've gone all around the world, man. Could you just share with us some of the projects that you foresee in the future of 2024? Like what's coming? I know you're always on the pulse.
Well, fortunately, I'm going to be doing some South by Southwest stuff again after all these years.
Wow.
I'm on the board of an organization called EQ Austin,
Okay.
headed up by a friend of mine named Gavin Lance, who I knew Gavin from way back in the day. He stayed in Austin. He's worked along, with the internal structure in Austin, and has put this organization together to help forward minority artists in the city and beyond. So working with him, currently putting together a compilation, a retrospective of hip hop in Austin.
That's awesome, man. That is
So
doing that
rap act.
coming up.
Yeah, I mean we're working it right now, literally. So it should encompass rap acts over the last 30 years out of Austin. Working on some situations for South by Southwest. Working with this brother named Alvin Singh, who is Lead Belly's great nephew. He's just done a really incredible documentary on Lead Belly.
Really?
Which just debuted at the International Black Film Festival in Nashville this past weekend. I've got him showing up in the Kwanzaa Film Festival also.
Okay.
And hopefully he'll be on the South by Southwest. And if you don't know who Lead Belly takes you back to the origins of black music in the U.S. Yes. Legendary blues singer, blues musician, writer. You've heard his stuff in everything from commercials to movies. Please look him up, get your history, and see the documentary when you get a chance.
You know what? Also, Keir, maybe like I said, I'm really proud of my co-host B-Dub. I've known Dub and I've grown up in Kalamazoo forever, and he's really super involved in what he's doing. And he also has a project with Earl Lloyd. Maybe you could touch on that, Dub.
Yeah, I got a project with Earl Lloyd. He was the first Black NBA player to get to play in the NBA. And his last place he played was in Detroit. And they just made his August 19th, they made him Earl Lloyd Day
dope.
In the state of Michigan. And he was the first black bench coach as well.
Yeah, man, we gotta make these stories and these personages known within the culture, within our communities. We have so many great talented people, so many people to be proud of and to look at as examples of where we can go and what we can do. We just don't tell them often enough, And we get everybody else's story.
And one of the great things about you, Keir, is that you're able to facilitate the culture for us and bring that to the executive level and then bring it out to the masses. So when I think about that, like Keir, you could possibly be the person to set up the basketball day for Earl Lloyd at Detroit. That day would be DUBB. I know you can help coordinate those type of things the way that you can get down. So it's also really what we like to show you on I'm From the Zoo. It's about relationships and professionalism. And Mr. Keir Worthy, brother, you are just absolutely astounding. And one thing I want to share, I've known you, man, how long we known each other, bro? For real.
Over
Goodness.
20, 25?
Over
Yeah,
25.
easily, yeah.
Easily, you know what I'm saying? And nothing changed. Been the same way the whole time. And you know, people think, you know, like I'm doing this and that, man. This brother right here is one that's giving me a lot of game over the years, brother. So I appreciate and salute you for that. Thank you.
Oh man, I
Hey,
appreciate you, Mike, and just knowing you as a person. You know,
so we were at about 8 minutes, but I want to say that the passion that you got, you really got the blueprint, Mr. Worthy.
Yeah.
And the blueprint need to be put out there because it can't be done or duplicated unless you do it.
just be think appreciate that, man. Appreciate it.
You
Oh,
know what?
before I
Before
forget,
we tap out, Dub,
go ahead.
we got an actual question from our studio audience that you can't see, but the studio audience has a question. What advice do you have for independent artists trying to break into the music industry today?
Well, in a lot of ways, as an independent artist, you're fortunate that you're doing it today because, you know, years ago, you didn't have the outlets that you have now. You didn't have the internet. You didn't have the availability of being able to distribute your own product, you know, your own music. So that's a plus, you know. I would say focus, as always, no matter what era it is, focus on your craft.
Right.
Make sure you're the best you can be at whatever you're doing, right?
Yeah.
Secondly, focus on, you know, making good music. Once you got that secured, then focus on acquiring an audience. You know who your people are, and now you have the tools to put them together. You can now reach the people who like whatever you do. You know, directly. You can get out there. You can meet them on Instagram. You can meet them on Facebook. You can meet them on TikTok. You can meet them in all kinds of places. People who really know your stuff and like what you do, and you can cut through the middleman.
Right.
And if you want to, you know, you can go independent. You can get distributed on Bandcamp. You know, you can get on CD Baby or whatever, and get your stuff out there for yourself.
Right. That's outstanding. That is outstanding. Thank you. And thank you, whoever brought that question out there from us. You know what I mean? Keir, brother, man, we are just getting ready to get out of time. I'm not sure how much more we got.
Yeah, we got 5 minutes.
We appreciate your
well,
time.
Let me say this.
Yes.
One thing you asked us about with the Organization of Black Designers, I was saying earlier, we're going to be doing an event, series of events next year, focusing on fashion called the DUBB with a company called Basil Hayden. Check it out. Incredible spirits.
Yes.
Bourbon. Yeah, definitely. If you're into bourbon and a higher end of bourbon, Basil Hayden, bro.
Check them out. Basil, shout out. And you know what? Since we're shouting out, I wanted to also do this. I'm wearing the Rich Vision hat today. As you can see, this is a shout out for my homeboy Mario. And he just recently lost his niece. So I just wanted to give them a special rest in peace to her and a big shout out to him when we're talking about quality and things like that. And before we go, Dub, we always ask our guests a question if they could recommend somebody, you know. So I'm gonna let you ask Mr. Keir that question for us, brother.
Okay, no problem, man. With the honor, with your expertise, we would like to find out if you can give somebody else to come on to the show that will be a good fit that you're thinking of.
Recommend somebody to be on the Zoom.
I got about 3 or 4 people for you. Don't worry.
Oh, come on. Who would that be? We putting you on the spot.
One of them would be the brother I just told you about who did the Lead Belly documentary.
Okay.
Oh, that's big.
Another person is my homie Shlomi, Mr. Ward White, my business partner at High Wax Promotions, who now handles Erykah Badu and has been her only attorney for her entire career.
Come on now.
Another partner of mine, Alphonse McCullough, former producer over at BET, editor at The Source, who's got a few ventures going on. He's doing this one incredible HBCU project that I'll allow him to tell you about further.
Amazing.
And my man, I've got some of my techno dudes out of the D. And I don't know if you guys are up on this, up on the Mapiano movement out of South Africa.
Wow, we are now.
Phenomenal stuff. Stuff. There's a brother named Bayanda over there, and also my man Kimba Sebeko, who was filmmaker and TV producer in South Africa.
Wow.
That's what I'm talking about. You talking about some major contacts. There you go, right here. Major contacts right here on I'm from the Zoo.
Oh, allow me to shout out my man
come on now.
Big D, Demisi Thrash up in Tacoma with the Alliance Battle League.
Hey, what's happening, fam?
And my man Basili, who is responsible for putting me onto the Alliance Battle League and a number of other things. Baz is holding down
Baz?
Austin right now.
What's up,
And,
Baz?
you know
fam?
Baz, yeah.
Hey, what up, fam?
So yeah.
Shouts out to the brothers in Tacoma, man. Like I said, Keir, man.
And I gotta give a shout. Shouts to as my Bass calls the Oracle, the Queen Mother, my mom,
right,
Miss Frances Worthy. Without her, none of this.
That's real. That's
none of this.
Real, man. We got some Worthies. You might be related to the family, the Worthy family in Kalamazoo. We got a strong Worthy family in the zoo too. You know what I'm saying? It's connected, so it makes sense.
More than likely.
You know what I mean? Well, look, before we get to the countdown, I just wanted to say, on behalf of the Come Through Network, Like Minds 420, MICH Film Productions, Blockchain Management with DUBB, Icon Sports. We want to thank you so much, man, for coming on the show. It's been extraordinary. We can't wait to see it again, over and over. Would you like to come back? We would love to have you to come back, man. Have a part 2.
I mean, I would love to. I'd be honored to do that.
I'd be honored to have it, man.
Hopefully, I have some more stories and information to impart on you.
Well, we normally go to overtime, but it's just one of those days where we taping. You know, we're gonna have to go to part 2 because we could do double overtime, triple overtime, all kind of overtimes. Because we didn't even touch on Erykah Badu and so much more that you're involved.
I like the sports reference. I'm a big sports fan, so yeah, I'm with that.
That's real. Right. And DUBB, is there anything else that you want to say before we go on out?
Hey, thanks for taking the time out, man. It's really appreciative.
My brother's mine.
Make sure I get so I can get you on the panel for the conference ASAP.
No doubt.
Keir, man, I know we off here on the show, brother, but you know I'm gonna talk to you later. Chop it up, big homie.
Mish.
Man, so great to talk to you. I'm glad we finally got.
Always a pleasure, bro. Yeah,
right. Did you have a good time?
We've been at it for a while. We've been hedging for it for a while, right?
Right. You know what I'm saying? And we just
finally got to get it done.
But we ain't even talked about, you know what I'm saying? We ain't even got to do it, man. We just tipped in a little bit of the water, you know?
Right.
Put the toe in. Let me know. We'll do this part 2, no problem.
Let's do
the rematch, right?
Real quickly, I got
Yes.
I got a daughter. She sold 500,000 copies the first week in a techno song.
That's beautiful.
Panned out.
I'd love to hear it.
See,
there it is. For you.
And Keir, I definitely want to follow up with my man too with you.
Before it even got here,
you got to get that song, Keir, because it's banging straight up.
Okay,
it is. She did her thing. I mean, it's on point for real.
No doubt. And Mike,
yes,
don't stress.
I can't stress, man.
Mike Mish, tell them where you from. Tell them where you from, Mike Mish.
Yo, I'm from the zoo, baby. Here with Keir Worthy and DUBB. I'm the host, Mike Mish, West Coast Mish. We are out, but we'll be back soon. Check it.
Michigan.
Okay. Thanks, Keir, fam. We'll talk with you later, bro.
All right, my man.
That was
DUBB.
awesome.
Good meeting you, bro.